There's a lie that has been sold to you since you were a boy. A lie that has left millions of men confused, frustrated, and sleeping in cold beds. The lie is that female arousal is a switch you can control with the right moves. You believe that if you find the right button, the right technique, or the perfect sequence of words, everything will click and she will be yours. You are treating a nuclear reactor like a light bulb, expecting simple inputs to create complex reactions. You think if you try harder, become nicer, stronger, or more persistent, desire will follow. But you are revving the engine while the parking brake is engaged, pouring fuel into a car that cannot move. The truth is deeper and more biological. Inside every woman's nervous system exists a dual control mechanism. It doesn't respond to effort or ego. It only responds to excitation and inhibition, the accelerator and the brakes. Most men spend their lives pressing the accelerator. They try to create desire directly. But the real shift happens when you understand that you don't need to turn anything on. You need to remove what is turning it off. When you understand how to release the brakes, movement happens naturally. By the end of this, you'll see how to stop forcing outcomes and start removing the hidden barriers that block natural attraction. You will understand why someone can feel love without desire and how that dynamic can shift. This is not about surface-level attraction. It is about understanding deeper behavioral patterns and responses. Most people approach this as an additive process. More attention, more effort, more gestures. They believe desire is something built piece by piece, like stacking bricks into a structure. But in reality, it works differently. It is subtractive. It is what remains when pressure, stress, and resistance are removed. What's left behind is what naturally rises. Think of the mind as having two systems. One searches for reasons to engage, connection, comfort, presence. The other scans for reasons to withdraw, stress, tension, discomfort, or unresolved distractions. The system that looks for reasons to withdraw is often stronger. It is designed to protect, to avoid discomfort, and to maintain emotional balance. This means removing tension is often more powerful than adding stimulation. When someone seems distant, the instinct is to try harder, to talk more, do more, give more. But often, the environment itself is working against you, creating resistance you cannot see. You may be applying effort in the wrong direction, adding pressure when what's needed is relief, trying to move forward when something unseen is holding everything in place. When pressure meets resistance, the result isn't progress, it's friction. And friction over time creates fatigue, disinterest, and emotional distance. A more effective mindset is to shift the question. Not, how do I create attraction? But, what is reducing it right now? That question changes everything. Instead of building something new, you begin removing what's in the way, clearing space, reducing noise, allowing natural responses to surface without force. Another common mistake is assuming everyone experiences desire the same way. Many people expect immediate reactions, quick signals, and obvious interest. But for many, response builds gradually. It depends on context, mood, and environment. It's less like a switch and more like a slow process that develops over time. This means waiting for obvious signals can lead to misunderstanding. Silence or neutrality isn't always rejection. It can simply mean the conditions aren't ready yet. The key is understanding how to create the right environment. Not forcing outcomes, but shaping the conditions that allow natural engagement to happen. This shift requires patience and awareness. Instead of reacting to what you see on the surface, you begin to read what's happening underneath, emotionally and mentally. You start recognizing that timing matters. The same words or actions can feel completely different depending on the context in which they happen. Context shapes perception. The environment, recent experiences, and emotional state all influence how someone responds in the moment. You could behave the same way twice and get completely different outcomes. Not because you changed, but because the surrounding conditions did. This is why consistency alone is not enough. Awareness of the moment is just as important as the actions you take within it. For some, engagement builds only after a certain level of comfort or connection is present. It doesn't appear instantly. It develops step by step. Think of it like warming something gradually. If you rush the process, you disrupt it. But if you allow it to build naturally, it becomes self-sustaining. Most people make the mistake of rushing toward a result. They skip over the process, trying to get to the outcome without preparing the foundation. But the foundation is everything. Without it, even strong effort collapses quickly or fails to create anything meaningful. When you understand this, you stop chasing reactions. Instead, you focus on creating conditions where the right responses happen on their own. At this point, you begin to see that forcing outcomes is ineffective. What matters is guiding the process without overwhelming it, allowing space for natural responses to develop. This requires restraint, not doing everything at once, but knowing when to pause, when to step back, and when to let the moment breathe. Many people struggle with this because they equate action with progress. They believe doing more will always lead to better results. But in many situations, less is more. Strategic pauses can create more impact than constant effort ever could. Space creates curiosity. When everything is given immediately, there is nothing left to anticipate or explore. When there is room for imagination, interest begins to grow. People naturally lean toward what they don't fully understand yet. This is where subtlety becomes powerful. Small actions delivered with intention often carry more weight than obvious or exaggerated efforts. It's not about being distant or unavailable. It's about balance, engaging without overwhelming, showing interest without removing all mystery. When you master this balance, interactions begin to shift. They feel less forced and more fluid, less predictable and more engaging. And when things feel natural, they require less effort to maintain. What once felt complicated begins to unfold more smoothly. Now you begin to understand the role of emotional environment. It's not just about what you do, but how the overall atmosphere feels in your presence. People respond to energy before they respond to words. Tension, calmness, confidence, or uncertainty, all of it is picked up without being spoken. If the environment feels pressured or heavy, resistance naturally increases. If it feels relaxed and grounded, openness becomes easier. This is why awareness of tone, pace, and presence matters. The way you carry yourself influences how others experience the moment. You don't need to over-explain or over-perform. Often, a steady and composed presence communicates more than constant talking ever could. Clarity also plays a role. Indecision or hesitation can create uncertainty, while calm direction creates a sense of ease. But balance is still key. Too much control can feel overwhelming, while too little can feel unstable. The middle ground is where comfort and interest meet. When this balance is right, interactions feel effortless. There's a natural rhythm that doesn't need to be forced or managed constantly. Over time, this approach builds stronger connections, not because of intensity, but because of consistency and emotional awareness. And once that foundation is established, everything that follows becomes more natural, more mutual, and far less complicated. As you go deeper, you realize that interaction is less about control and more about alignment. When both people feel at ease, everything begins to flow without resistance. Misalignment creates tension. One person pushes forward while the other pulls back. This imbalance leads to confusion and mixed signals. Alignment, on the other hand, creates momentum. Both people move at a similar pace, building engagement naturally instead of forcing it. To create this, you need awareness of subtle cues. Small changes in tone, body language, or energy can tell you when to move forward or pause. Ignoring these signals leads to disconnect. Paying attention to them allows you to adjust in real time without creating pressure. This is where patience becomes a strength. Rushing breaks alignment, while timing preserves it and allows things to develop smoothly. You also begin to understand the importance of emotional contrast. Moments of closeness followed by space create a natural rhythm. Without contrast, everything feels flat. With it, interactions gain depth, making them more engaging and memorable. The key is to avoid extremes. Too much distance creates disinterest, while too much intensity creates overwhelm. When you maintain balance between these two, you create a dynamic that feels both comfortable and exciting at the same time. At this stage, you start to see how consistency in behavior builds trust over time, not through grand gestures, but through steady, predictable patterns. Trust reduces uncertainty, and when uncertainty is reduced, resistance naturally lowers. People feel more comfortable engaging when they know what to expect, but too much predictability can remove excitement. This is where variation becomes important, introducing small changes that keep things interesting. The balance between stability and variation creates a dynamic experience. One provides comfort, the other provides stimulation.